Last time on my journals, I shared just how much Margit punished me, but after traveling through the land, leveling up, gearing up, killing 4 more bosses, I took him on again and Welcome back, Classy Tarnish, to another Hey J Journal as I go through all of Elden Ring trying to slay every unique boss on my own and document my whole journey. I am now at 10 bosses down as I have killed 4 more bosses in my great thing. I think this takes us to 10% of bosses have been felled, and I've pretty much went back to explore the rest of the starting area map, everything before Margit. Last time, Margit punished me hard, so I went back to the Weeping Peninsula area. Next to it, there's like a whole section there where I died to a bear. So I was like, all right, let's see what I can do here, and let's see what there is there. So I was right next to a tree upon loading my game, and right away I encountered an Erdtree avatar, which was a really cool boss. So the first thing is I went in with my horse, and I was like, all right, let's whip this guy. And he's like, nope, try again. So I came back without the horse because he has such massive swings. I was like, I can see these swings. I can roll through them. And that's exactly what I did. He was a very fun fight because he's a big chunky boy and he telegraphs his attacks, and that rolling through them, coming out the other side and just whipping them feels good. I didn't quite feel it in the fight, but I did realize it afterwards when someone's like, don't you recognize this rig is very similar to one of the bosses from Dark Souls, I think the Asylum Demon or something. I was like, oh yeah, I see it now with the big like chunky sword and how he moves. It felt way better in this game though, so had a lot of fun there. And then he dropped some orbs which let me use my Flask of Wondrous Physique or whatever. So now I have an extra little thing that I can heal with and do some cool stuff with. So from there, I kept exploring the area, and beyond a cliff, I could see like a tower bopping up and down, moving. And I was like, what is going on here? What is that? How is a building moving and bopping? And I could hear like, I'm like, oh, that sounds really cool. So I headed over there and I saw like this tower on a turtle-like thing with 4 legs and a bell underneath it. And I was just like, what is this? Is it dangerous? Is it gonna attack me? So I got close to it. And of course, the legs, I mean, you could get squished, but otherwise, it was pretty harmless. It was just kind of wobbling around, and I'm just like, what is this thing going to do? What do I do with this? And I just started exploring and started whipping at its legs to see what would happen. And I saw like these skull things coming off. I was like, oh, do I have to remove all the skulls? So I cleaned the skulls off one leg, nothing happened. I cleaned the skulls off the other, and that's when it collapsed into place. And I could actually jump up top and get inside this thing, which I learned was a mausoleum. Now, I couldn't do anything in it. There was some altar that said something about remembrances, and I have counters for that, but I still don't know what they are. I haven't encountered them in the game. So we put that aside, kept exploring the area, and then I found a pit which looked super... So anyways, I needed keys to unlock it. So got some keys from a nearby merchant, unlocked it, went down into this thing to see what happened, and just got destroyed by an ancient hero of Zamor. The first time I took him on, I again had my whip, and he was very slow and passive, and I was like, okay, this isn't too aggressive. I can get close, whip, and then he has these very aggressive moves. I'm like, okay, step back, dodge, I can do this. And when he hits phase 2, he's just like, freeze everything, smack your face, get out of my jail. I was like, yes, sir, I will leave and come back when I am stronger, because I felt completely overpowered. And his freezing ability and status ailments were just making me a big squishy dead man. And then I went back to the very beginning where you start the game, and there was like this pond area that I had not explored. And I was like, what could be here? So I legit got scared because I'm running with my horse, and it's kind of like a swampy area. I was like, oh, what's going on here? And out of nowhere, just this big dragon comes up over me and like burns everything. And it came like through the trees, so I didn't get a good view of it. I was just like, holy shit, what is this thing? Turns out it's the flying dragon, Agil. And I'm like, oh, I have to fight a dragon? Is this the time to fight this thing? This thing's really intimidating. So I kind of like was trying to get close to it. He was flying a lot. He went on the ground, and I whipped him in the face a few times and on the butt and everywhere. And it wasn't doing a lot of damage. I was like, oh, I don't think I should be fighting this thing yet. So I explored the area while dodging him. And then I found another chest which teleported me to Florida, and that place sucked. It sucked so much. The sky was red. Everything wanted to kill me. I made it to a village of sorcerers. They all wanted to kill me, and they were very good at killing me. And then on my way out, I came across this other dragon called the Decaying Ekazyke, And that thing was terrifying too. So I'm like, nope. Where am I on the map? I opened the map and somehow this chest teleported me all the way to like the northeast part. I was like, get me back to my safe starting zone. So I hustled all the way back there. I was determined. I'm like, okay, if this flying dragon is in the starting area, surely I can kill it. So I went back in, stuck to my horse because the dragon has a lot of range when he flies around. So I'm like, okay, I need the horse to like close the gap quick. So I went in, I was whipping it. I was like, okay, I don't feel this. The whip's not working. Let's try these cool twin blades I found. So I went in, I'm like, shoot. Nope, not feeling this either. So I'm like, well, let's do it the old traditional way. When you see a dragon, you probably should get a sword. And so I got a sword, and I learned that as I'm like riding my horse, I can like charge the sword on the, like he holds the sword down. And then if you get really like, if you time it right, you charge it, you get close to the face and you go smack. And it's the most satisfying thing ever. I think I got to do it once. It's really hard because you have to manage the fight, and its head is high. So you have to time it when the head is down, and you have to have like a 5-second charge up, and you ride up with the horse and you just like bam in the face. Oh, it feels so good. So I figured out its pattern pretty quick. He basically has one melee attack where he like tries to stomp you, which you can see coming from far away if you watch him. And then he has his fire attacks, which it's either like he breathes in a range this way where you just like avoid it, smack his face, or he flies and breathes one way, which you come in the other side. Once you can see those patterns, he's very easy, and then it's just a matter of creating those connections.
Give him a good hit.
Fantastic fight. I had so much fun fighting this thing. I had so much fun playing this game. So that was my second boss of the night down. From there, I entered a mine that was near his domain and killed a bunch of stuff. What's important is I picked up some smithing stones, the level 1 ones. So I had tried to level up my weapons before, but I didn't have any of these stones. I only had the level 2 ones because I guess I was doing zones out of order. So I was so glad to find this mine. I'm like, finally, I can level up my weapons. Give me all these stones. And I made my way through the caves and eventually came across a stone digger troll, which was fantastic for a user with a whip, because the whip was just eating his health like crazy because he's made of stone. And otherwise it was a fun fight because he had like these massive attacks. He was just this big chunky boy, and it was a very enclosed space, which makes it a lot more stressful. But again, it was a fun fight. I think I got him on my first try. All these bosses were just really fun that night. And then I was able to go back to the hub, level up my whip to level 3 now. And at this point, I'm at level 25. I was like, all right, my whip's leveled up. I killed a bunch of bosses. Let's go back and take on Margit. So I headed back to Stormvale Castle. And before going to Margit, I was like, well, let's explore like around here in the castle and see what's going on there. So from there, I got my first spell. I think it was in that area, which lets me, or I bought it in the hub. It lets me cure myself from poison. So my first spell, it's not the most useful, but at least I can cast something. In that area, I found a Potman. So there was this talking pot with arms and legs that was stuck in the ground. I whipped him out of there, and then he's like, oh, come visit me when you go to Florida again. I was like, oh man, why are we going there? I don't want to go back there. But maybe Potman is going to make things better. Maybe he'll make the sky blue. I don't know what Potman's quest line or journey or purpose in this game is, but he's a cool dude, and I'm glad he's in this game. I was really looking forward to meeting him, and I'm glad I finally met him, but I want to know more. How do you get there? Who is he? What does he do? What are we going to do together? Do I have to fight him one day? What's inside him? I don't know. Also, while exploring there, I forgot this other boss because I almost forgot there was a boss here. I made it to like a destroyed village, and it's kind of flooded, and there's a dude in a boat, and boss music starts when I see him. I was like, are you serious? It's like a summoner. His name is Tibia Mariner, I think. And he just goes around in his boat. Sometimes he smacks you with his boat, and he's basically summoning things. It was the easiest boss so far. I'm just like, okay, we'll just keep smacking him. And he died. So that was boss number 4 for the night. So with all of that, I was like, all right, I can either go to Florida again, or I can go to Margit. Margit is way more attractive. And by Florida, I mean where the sky is red. I actually don't know the name of this place. And for those who live in Florida, I apologize, but also everybody called it Florida in the chat, so I figured it was a community reference, or maybe just the community doesn't like Florida. Some people also called it Brazil. So I went back to Margit, and I had very little practice with him last time, and I just got destroyed. I didn't know how to do anything. So this time I went in, again with the whip, and I got a lot better at dodging his first phase. So I started understanding his mechanics, when to dodge, and I ended up switching weapons and experimenting. And what I got the most results with was the Claymore, the thing I got back in, I think, my first stream. So I was like, you know, the Claymore does the most damage. It's actually quite hard to get openings on Margit. So maybe I should equip the weapon that does the most damage. So when I get my opening, I'm killing him faster. So I got better at anticipating his stick attack and even his like swoosh swoosh double dagger attack, and I could dodge those quite comfortably. And I also learned that the Claymore has this ability, the L2, where he like you like charge and you jump and you flip and it's so cool. It's so satisfying and it does so much damage. So with that said, I made it to phase 2 on Margit, which is huge progress. Now he started pulling out his hammer, and now it's harder because when he jumps and hammers, that's easy. I'm like, you jump, okay, I roll here, and then I hit you. But he's got way more combos, more aggressive. I was also getting quite tired. My personal stamina was gone for the night. But man, I'm having so much fun with him because it's all coming together, and I can see the dance. I'm like, okay, this is good, like boss, good Soulsborne boss, because it's all about roll here, there's the opening, roll here. Okay, now we're going to change it up a little bit. Can you keep up? And I'm like, I can try, but I didn't. I think once I go in fresh, I'll be able to kill him. If I had 5 more levels, like if I was at level 30, I could probably do it a lot easier if I could just like kill him faster. But otherwise, I'm pretty sure Margit's going to fall next time. I can just see it. It's all coming together. I'm getting that experience, and it's probably going to be with the Claymore because the other weapons I don't seem to be progressing as fast on him with. So probably the Claymore. Oh, another ability I got when I was exploring the Stormveil is the sidestep, which has been really useful in Margit. So now I can roll, but I can also sidestep. So it lets me dodge 2 of his attacks like boom, boom. And I heard that the sidestep is like one of the OP abilities. So it's either I sidestep or I do my like jump and boom. It's kind of a hard one. Is a defensive ability, one's an offensive ability. They're both really good. What do you call those things? The Ashes of War. So I got that for the sidestep. With the whip, it was awesome. I'm just like, it felt so good. I think that's one thing this game does better than the past games they've made is when you execute everything, it's so stylish and badass. You're just like, oh yeah, I'm styling on these bosses and it looks freaking cool. So join me next time. I should have Margit felled. That will be probably in 2 weeks as I will be away on a business trip. So I'll be back to fell Margit, and then I guess we're going to Florida, which it looks like the game gets a lot harder from this point on, as they usually do. So I will see you on the next journal, and until next time, keep it classy. Do 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 do. Subscribe.